Practical Help for State Nationals. December 21, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. This is for those who have declared and recorded their proper political status as Joe average Americans, and who are not federal employees or dependents. Federal employees and those who are actually receiving unearned welfare benefits have other options and other things to say in-house to the members of the congressional delegations. For the rest of us, it is obviously necessary to light a fire under their collective rumps. There are many measures that we can take to compel these yahoos to perform and to clean up their own mess. Writing a simple letter and flooding their offices with complaints about one supremely important topic, the remedies you are owed, is one way to do it. We have begun a program to secure these remedies for Americans who have taken the time and made the effort to correct their political status. Thus far, the Internal Revenue Service and Treasury Department are attempting to stonewall us and unreasonably restrict access to remedy. They need direction from their bosses, the members of Congress, and we need to give the members of Congress their marching orders, too. No need to be rude, just get your points across. I will note that if you want to send an email to your congressional delegation, most of their email programs require you to choose a title or office. This is so they can pretend that you are actually agreeing to serve in such an office and are their employee, instead of being their employer. As this is a required field, go ahead and choose any office you wish, then explain and disclaim this at the very beginning of your email to them. I usually choose Marine Corps General and then explain that I actually don't occupy any office of person, but was forced to choose one by the email program and so, chose Marine Corps General because that's how I feel. To help get you thinking and started, here's a sample of the kind of letter you, those who have declared their actual political status, can write. Dear Senate delegates, I have suffered multiple attempted acts of commercial piracy because you have failed to properly instruct federal subcontractors concerning the exemptions that average Americans are owed and also failed to expedite the mutual offset credit exchange I am owed. See Public Law 73-10. Your failure to properly oversee and administer this process has led to the accumulation of the so-called national debt, a situation that must be corrected. It has also led to millions of Americans suffering unjustifiable foreclosures and allegations of federal tax debts that they don't owe. There is a Treasury Direct account that was created in my name without my knowledge or consent as a result of FDR's Executive Order 2039. That special trust account is supposed to be used to offset public debts and to hold me harmless as a man, woman who holds no office of person in the federal or state governments. In the hard copy version that will follow this email, I am enclosing a letter to the Internal Revenue Service or other agency, court, etc. that I have been forced to send after a prolonged failure on their part to respond to me and continued harassment and false allegations of federal tax debts brought against federal persons that I never knowingly authorized to exist. You will note that I have also been forced to file liens against the perpetrators and to offer to enforce commercial and legal sanctions against them. This is regrettable, because for the most part, they don't know that they are doing anything wrong. They've been left in the dark like everyone else. I consider the courts and the out-of-control federal agencies to be at fault for this circumstance and even more so the banks and lending institutions including the USDA, but ultimately, I consider you all to be at fault for this inland piracy against average Americans who have not been given anything like full disclosure and who are left operating in the dark as a result of your continued failure to provide disclosure and failure to properly instruct your employees, including members of the court systems. As you are choosing to perform in an undisclosed capacity as members of an incorporated government, I should also point out that you are yourselves without any protection of sovereign immunity and that the municipal plenary oligarchy you are serving is out of compliance with its charter, that old-fashioned thing known as the Constitution of the United States. We, Americans, will still be here, but the continued existence of the United States is another matter. The Pope issued your municipal charter and the states and people hold the other end of the string. Now that we are, by dint of our own efforts, aware of all the nasty things FDR did, we have taken appropriate action to declare our proper political status, organize the states of the Union, and prepare to finish the long overdue reconstruction of the federal government. If you have an interest in the well-being of this country and any shred of honor, it is well past time to take an interest in the malfunctioning of your subcontractors and the harm that your failure to properly instruct your own employees is causing to them and everyone else. Blank. Now, obviously, you have to tailor things to your own circumstance. If you haven't filed punitive liens, don't say you have. Put in your own information about whichever agency or agencies you have a beef with. Make it clear that you are owed remedy and are being stonewalled and prevented from obtaining it by misinformed federal employees. Light a fire under them. Do so by the millions. They deserve it. Help support this work by visiting www.annavonreitz.com and look for the donate button. Links to this article and more can be found in the video description box.